All right, let's talk about one of the biggest names in crypto right now, Solana. You've probably heard the name, you've heard the hype about its incredible speed, but what is it really, and what makes it so different? Well, today, we're going to break it all down. Let's get right into it.
So, have you ever tried to do something on a blockchain, maybe buy an NFT or make a trade, and it just crawls? Like you're stuck in rush hour traffic, bumper to bumper, and the tolls or the gas fees just keep getting higher and higher? It's super frustrating, right? Well, that digital traffic jam is a real problem that a lot of the older blockchains face.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple equation, really. The more popular a blockchain like Bitcoin or Ethereum gets, the more crowded it becomes. And just like a real road, more traffic means things slow down and it gets way more expensive to use. This whole situation created this massive opening for something new, A network built specifically to avoid these bottlenecks from the get-go.
And that's where Solana comes roaring into the picture. So if those other blockchains are like crowded city streets with potholes and stoplights, think of Solana as this freshly paved 8-lane superhighway. It was designed from day one with one thing in mind: speed, and lots of it.
So when you strip it all down, what is Solana? It's a blockchain platform built for two things: being ridiculously fast and incredibly cheap. And because of that, it means you, or anyone really, can build apps, trade digital stuff, or send money across the world. And it all happens in a flash, without those eye-watering fees.
Okay, but how? How does Solana actually pull off this insane speed? It's a great question. Let's kind of pop the hood and see what's powering this thing. It really boils down to two core ideas, two key technologies that work in perfect harmony. This is where things get really cool. First up is something called proof of stake. Now, if Solana is our highway, think of proof of stake as the security guards. People, we call them validators, lock up their own SOL coins as a stake in the network. This gives them the right to help run things and keep it all secure. But here's the real magic: Solana's secret weapon, proof of history. Imagine a traffic controller who can stamp the exact time on every single car the instant it enters the highway. That's proof of history. It timestamps every transaction before it's even bundled into a block. This keeps everything in perfect order and lets the whole network just fly.
All right, so we have this amazing, super fast highway. Fantastic, but what's the point? Where does it go? Well, this is why the speed matters so much. It's allowed a whole universe of apps and projects to spring up on Solana, stuff that would just grind to a halt on those slower, pricier networks.
And because it's so fast and cheap, Solana has become this buzzing hub for pretty much everything. We're talking DeFi apps where you can lend and borrow without a bank, huge marketplaces for NFTs and digital art, and it's a huge deal in the gaming world where speed is everything. Oh, and of course, sending money anywhere in the world for pennies. It's a really active ecosystem.
And look, when I say fast, I mean fast. We're talking about a theoretical capacity of over 50,000 transactions per second. Let that sink in. 50,000 every second. That's not just a little bit faster than the older guys, it's an entirely different league. And that raw horsepower, that's what gets developers and users so hyped.
But speed is only half the story, right? The other, equally important part is the cost. I mean, look at this. On other networks, you could be paying a few bucks, maybe even more, just for one transaction when things get busy. On Solana, you're paying a fraction of a penny. We're talking less than the cost of a gumball. That's what makes it usable for things you do every day, or for apps that need to process tons and tons of tiny actions.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. No technology is flawless, and Solana is no exception. It's like building a brand new highway. You're bound to run into some, let's call them potholes. So it's super important we take a look at the other side of the coin, the challenges and risks involved.
For one, the network has actually gone down a few times. It's had outages where everything just stopped, sometimes because of a bug, other times because it got swamped with traffic. That's kind of one of the trade-offs of its complex design. Then there's the whole decentralization debate. Solana has fewer of those validators we talked about compared to some of its rivals, which makes some people a little nervous. And let's not forget, it's not the only fast blockchain out there. The competition is absolutely fierce. And on top of all that, you have the wild price swings of the Sol coin itself, which is just part of the game in crypto.
And really, that's what it all boils down to. Every single blockchain is a series of trade-offs. Solana made a very clear choice. They went all in on speed and low fees. And that decision came with its own set of challenges, especially with keeping the network stable, particularly when it was younger.
So, putting it all together, The incredible speed, the low cost, and the challenges. What's Solana's actual place in the crypto world? Where does this digital superhighway lead?
You know, I came across a quote that I think just nails it. It says, if Bitcoin is known as digital gold, Solana is more like a high-speed tech platform built for real-world apps, trading, and entertainment. And that's perfect, isn't it? Bitcoin is something you might hold on to. Solana is something you're meant to do things with. It's built for action.
So to sum it all up in a nutshell, Solana is a blockchain that's all about speed and low costs. Its secret sauce is that 1-2 punch of proof of stake and proof of history. That combo makes it a fantastic place for things like gaming, NFTs, and DeFi. And yeah, it's had some growing pains, but the team and the community are constantly pushing to make it stronger and more decentralized over time.
And that really leaves us with one big question to chew on. As we're all racing to build this new digital future, is raw speed going to be the thing that wins in the end? Is being the fastest the most important thing? Solana is basically betting its entire future that the answer is yes. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.